How's it going, Critter Family? Hope you all are doing well. Today we are going over a video by Koko Garcia. She says, teach dog to stop attacking. Get control now. So that's the name of her video. It's by Koko Garcia. K-O-K-O. Garcia. If you want to go see her original video, go ahead and check it out now. I'm going to be doing a bunch of pausing, stopping and starting, giving my point of view, trying to give a voice to the dog. So apparently this dog, I don't know what her definition is of attacking or if that's the owner's words or whatever it is, but we're going to see what's going on with this your doggy and how I might have helped differently. So the dog already looks like they have a prong collar on that's not being used. They're in a harness. They already have that. I hate it when I really don't like those traffic leads or those leashes that have the traffic handle, because people use it and abuse it so often that they create these issues in their dog's pulling. When you hold on, you're basically holding on like this, or from, the collar of your shirt. If someone was holding on to this kid's hood, on their hoodie, and they're just constantly, you're going to start fighting it too, because you desensitize them. You pull and you cause them to pull. It's called the opposition reflex, where when an animal feels a pull, they pull into it. They try to fight it. It's as if you were to go behind her or any one of these people, and especially this person on this rock, and you were to go and try to push them. If you put your hand and you steadily push them, they're going to try and fight it because they don't want to fall. That's a reflex. That's an instinctive reflex that they don't have to think about. They just do. That's what happens with our dogs. She says in the video, which I'm just going to keep muted, otherwise this video would be like, I don't know, an hour long. If I refute everything she says, but she says that harnesses were made for dogs to pull, sled dogs, blah, blah, blah. That shows ignorance, and she believes the lie that no, harnesses were not, this type of harness was not made for a dog to pull. This is a type of freedom harness, allows freedom of their shoulder and their movement. There might be a specific brand called the freedom harness. I don't know, but it's not made to manipulate the dog's physical body in any way, where you see those easy walk harnesses, and it's a strip that goes, there's a strap that goes right across the shoulders. The dogs can only move so much with their shoulders. They can't freely move them, and that restriction is what keeps your dog from pulling. I don't like those kind of harnesses because, one, it's no better than a prong collar or anything else you rely on to hold your dog back. I want to teach them to be able to walk. The reason why I hate this traffic handle is because people, like I said, overuse it. They use and abuse it, and they constantly cause the dog to pull. I've worked with clients that had this very leash, and they did the very same thing. And I said, here, let me take the leash, take your dog for a second. And I showed them, I'm going to hold this handle, and the dog is going to start pulling. The dog started pulling. I let go of the handle. I gave the dog their 6 feet of leash. If I needed to, I took in some slack. But I gave them their leash and started walking, and the dog was walking fine. And the owner was so surprised because we're not constantly in their face. If you're with, a horse and you see someone leading a horse right under the chin, it's the same thing. You're teaching them to pull. I leave a video in the description link. I leave a video link in the description below every video showing how I got my Shiba to walk on a loose leash in the same method I use to teach every dog I work with. Pressure and release, giving them their leash, nice and soft. I don't have to use a prong collar. I don't use a choke chain or a slip lead or any other nonsense. I use a harness that clips in the back, and that's how I teach the dog. And I don't rely on these. I actually recommend that the people switch to a regular leash so they don't get in the habit of holding their dog back and being high-strung and having loud hands. That teaches their dog to ignore the lightest bit of pressure. So she's going to switch to a slip lead here in a minute. The dog is freaking out. We got a prong collar we got to take off, or we should take off. We got a little leash tab there. That's going to smack the dog in the face. The dog is already fighting and choking. It's fighting her. You don't have to allow your 1 hour later of choking the dog, and now we're on a prong collar. Lovely. So I'm just going to get back to the dog. If you have a dog that's freaking out like this from a trainer or a professional, you don't have to let it continue. You can stop at any point. Just like the dog should have the right, they have the right with me, to take consent away. If they have the right to give consent and take it away. Meaning, if they want to work with me, great. If they don't want to work with me, I am not going to force it. And most of the time, I rarely ever take the dog's lead and start working with them because I'm teaching the human to do the training. I might take the dog's leash to show an example of how to use pressure and release with the lightest amount of pressure possible. But I'm not going to be taking the dog and putting a slip lead on and dragging him around because I think I'm the only one that can teach the dog. So the dog is fighting it because it says, ouch, it hurts. It wants to be with the human. Wants to be with their human. I would take that prong collar off. Ouch. Every time they shake their head, that little leash tab, which is just like a clip with, like an inch or two of like a leather handle or a nylon handle, but it's heavy enough that it can smack it in the face. It can hit it in the eye. It's there so that way if people wanted to, go give it a pop, or it could be just a connector that's on there so that way you can put your leash and it's a double connector. I don't know. But either way, it's hanging and it can hurt the dog. It can smack it in the face. The dog, she got down to the dog's level, and I'm sure if she made eye contact, the dog freaked out and said, whoa, I don't want you around me. The dog is fighting. You're teaching this dog to be fighty. She's just like dog daddy. The dog is choking. Another cut. We don't know how long they've been fighting for this, but she's been fighting with this dog. Apparently, she fights with them for an hour. If I were doing this with a dog and they ever started fighting with any piece of material that I put on them, any kind of tool, I've had dogs that don't like harnesses. They prefer a wide, flat buckle collar. So if they freak out in a harness, I take the harness off. I don't work out here in the public like this. I work at home, and then we meet in public. I don't know how many lessons she's had with this dog. Maybe she's had 100. It doesn't matter. Right here, the dog is clearly overstimulated by whatever tool she's using on him. Again, we don't know how long she's been doing this. She has her tree pouch that she never uses because that's what all compulsion trainers use. Choking, popping. So she can only get the dog to move when the owner is there. So the owner should be walking the dog. And they don't need to use a slip lead. They don't need to use the prong collar. Pop, pop, pop. This dog is developing learned helplessness. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This doesn't teach the dog diddly squat. The dog is only learning to do that here. This is learned helplessness, meaning the dog, no matter what they do, the only right answer is to follow their abuser. And yes, in this case, I'm calling her the abuser because she choked this dog out for who knows how long. And she's still popping and popping, and the tail is down, and the dog is tucking their back end. And she's going to say, this is success. And now the owner tries it, and the dog freaks out and chokes. Oh my gosh, and now we fight over again. So she might be trying to loosen the collar. It's a noose. She's choking the dog, and she's probably telling her, no, you're doing fine. Just yank the dog around. This is just moronic. Oh, she tells her, no, take away more leash, take away more slack, so that way you can be as stupid as I am and fight the dog even more. To where you have, just like with the traffic handle, so that way you fight the dog more. And people can't tell that you're correcting the dog as much. Beautiful dog, by the way. And she's going to say, turn around, come back this way. Dog is still fighting the pressure. It says, ouch, I can't breathe. There's like salivary glands and the thyroid glands here, and there's blood flow and arteries and the trachea, the thing you use to breathe. Lots of sensitive nerve endings. So they move out of the way while they have this cute little dog walk by. He's having trouble swallowing because they're going to cause a collapsed trachea. They say one more time, they're going to say this is success. The dog only didn't react because this is not successful. The dog didn't react because he's so distracted by the pain and the fear and the discomfort of the dang noose, or other words, slip lead, that he doesn't notice this dog, or he doesn't care about this dog. He's not worried about this dog. This is not successful. This is just an accident. He's swallowing. He's having difficulty swallowing the saliva in his mouth because this is so tight. It's like if it was like this, and you try to swallow that way. Good Lord, he can't hardly breathe and swallow. She's gonna say, "Oh, this is a success," and apparently that was, I don't know what was going on there, but and this is him. Still the damn prong collar always on. Prong collars are only first week of place command. Lovely. So they don't use the slip lead. They end up using the prong collar. Okay, you're an idiot. This harness is beautiful and perfect, and this is all you need to use with your dog. Don't worry about commands and place and all that. The dog is here because he's so exhausted from working however you work him. So if you like Koko Garcia and you like this channel, then go subscribe, go like and comment, all that good stuff. You know, I don't care. I don't recommend them. But if you like that, then by all means do. Let me know what you thought of this video. Aw, little Ellie's dreaming. She's so cute. Thanks for stopping by. Say howdy-do to your little critters. Say hi from me. Give them some kind of love and they appreciate. And until next time, practice peace, patience, and positivity.